This week in Jamaica Now, law enforcers uncover largest shipment of guns and ammunition ever seized in Jamaica. Opposition demands reversal of the appointment of Dennis Chung to FID, but government not backing down.
Those attempts will not prevail.
Defamation suits filed against 2 PNP members, and U.S. revises travel advisory for Jamaica. I'm Neville Graham, and this is Jamaica Now. Government officials have pledged to apprehend those responsible for the largest illegal shipment of firearms and ammunition ever intercepted in Jamaica. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang and the Jamaica Customs Agency JCA confirmed on Thursday that the shipment includes 233 guns as well as more than 50,000 rounds of ammunition. JCA personnel discovered the weapons concealed inside an industrial-sized water heater at a warehouse on Industrial Terrace in West Kingston, multiple sources reported. However, Dr. Chang and Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake told journalists that it was too early to disclose the details of the shipment, including where the guns and ammunition were shipped from, where in Jamaica they were headed, or whether authorities have made any arrests. Blake said since the start of the year, the police have taken 695 illegal guns off the streets.
I'm tempted to say it is the largest. It is the largest. Still doing our checks, we believe so. So I will be cautious and say it is certainly one of the largest that we have seen. Certainly one of the largest. And as the Minister rightfully mentioned, so far this year, so last year was a record-breaking year in terms of firearm recovery, 833. So far this year, although only 5 months in the year, we are 83% of the total figure for last year. And these are not only by large seizures like this. This is actually police facing people in the communities and disarming gang members in communities. And so the work, these are the manifestation of what is happening by our men and women out there on the street.
The opposition People's National Party, PNP, has warned that there will be actions all over Jamaica if the appointment of accountant Dennis Chung to head the Financial Investigations Division, FID, is not rescinded. Chung's appointment as Chief Technical Director at the entity tasked with combating financial crimes takes effect on June 2. It comes while the FID is under heightened public scrutiny for its role in 2 of the most high-profile financial investigations in Jamaican history. These include the alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud uncovered at investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, and the controversial report on the finances of the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, which was referred to the FID by the Integrity Commission last September. Opposition leader Mark Golding charged during a press conference on Thursday that the appointment itself is a corrupt act. He noted that Chung has made comments calling into question some aspects of the Integrity Commission's report on the Prime Minister.
He clearly is a biased person on this matter. He clearly would have a conflict leading the FID to investigate this matter. And that is why we are saying he should resign that position if he's accepted it, or the appointment should be rescinded and revoked forthwith. It is too vital to Jamaica's democracy and the rule of law in our country that what will be the most important and significant investigation by the FID in its history should not be led by somebody who has taken a position on key issues that are the substance of that investigation, positions which are in favor of the Prime Minister, as opposed to positions which the FID ought to be investigating in a non-biased, non-partisan way, based on what the findings of the Integrity Commission were already on those matters.
Local anti-corruption organizations, National Integrity Action and Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, JAMP, also joined in raising concerns about the appointment and Chung's qualifications for the post. JAMP said while Chung is a qualified chartered accountant, there are no known indications of prior experience in complex forensic investigations involving politically exposed persons or the leading of law enforcement or financial crime teams. But the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, has accused the PNP of unfairly attacking Chung's appointment, describing the objection as disgraceful, unbecoming, and shameful.
We know the PNP's desperation and threat of action across the island if Dennis Chung's appointment as Chief Technical Director at the FID is not rescinded. However, the PNP's attempt to bully and manipulate systems established to ensure a fair recruitment process will not be allowed to succeed. Those attempts will not prevail.
Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon also asserted that a proper selection process was followed in the appointment of Chung.
Every single senior appointment in government goes through a process. There is a process that we go through. The position is advertised. Individuals apply. There is a panel that's put together that shortlists candidates. And then there is an interview process that takes place. And there is scoring. The members of the committee score each of the persons. And then they make a selection. So there is a process that would have been followed. And from all the information I've been given, that process was followed. And so, we may have issues or not, and some people are celebrating the appointment and some are not. But the reality is that as government, we have put in place particular systems, especially in the hiring of senior government officials, and those processes were followed. If you have something to say it was not, then tell us that. But the process, as far as what we have the information on, that process has been followed.
Meanwhile, 12 years experience in law enforcement, 5 of them at a senior level, was listed as one of the requirements for the post of Chief Technical Director, CTD, of the Financial Investigations Division, FID, when it was first advertised late last year. The advertisement was published by the Gleaner on November 24 last year and directed candidates to submit their applications to the Office of the Services Commission. The requirement that the FID boss has a strong law enforcement background was in keeping with a practice that spans over 2 decades, dating back to the tenure of Mike Surridge, a former cop in the United Kingdom. Other past FID Chief Technical Directors include former senior cops Calvin Small, Justin Felice, and Selvin Hay. Robin Sykes, another former director, is one of Jamaica's leading authorities on money laundering. But when none of the shortlisted candidates were selected to become the new FID boss, it triggered a second recruitment process with a new advertisement. The 12 years law enforcement experience was removed from the requirements in the second advertisement, which was published by the Gleaner in January of this year. Instead, it indicated under the heading Minimum Required Qualification and Experience that candidates should have 12 years related experience at the managerial level, 5 of which should be at a senior management level. 2 People's National Party PNP members are being dragged before the courts for alleged defamatory statements uttered by them. Lawsuits were filed this week against Senator Damian Crawford and opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes. Dawes is being sued by Medical Technologies Limited, Meditech, and lawmaker attorney Donovan Williams over controversial allegations he made concerning the procurement of a $31 million neurosurgical drill for the Bustamante Hospital for Children. According to court documents filed on Monday, Meditech and Williams are seeking damages for defamation along with an injunction to prevent Dawes from repeating what they describe as defamatory statements about the company and the MP. They claim that statements made by Dawes at a press conference implied that they were involved in corrupt practices and selling supplies to the health ministry at a markup of 12,400%. Meanwhile, Minister of Local Government Desmond McKenzie has filed a defamation suit against Crawford for comments made at a PNP meeting at the Portmore Community College on March 2, 2025. Mackenzie's claim outlines that statements made at the meeting contained words that were false and defamatory of the claimant, as a result of which the claimant suffers injury, loss, and damage. According to the documents filed in court since Crawford alleged defamatory statements, Mackenzie has had to answer questions from financiers and business interests and even ordinary Jamaican citizens about his integrity. Government Minister Daryl Vaz came under fire this week for his seeming promotion of a song advocating violence against gays. During the Jamaica Labour Party's Clarendon Southeastern Constituency Conference on Sunday, Vaz requested the playing of TOK's controversial 2001 hit song, Chichi Man.
Soul man, you think me can come off of the stage and you don't run Chichi Man? I'm mad, you're mad. I'm mad, you're mad.
The song Chichi Man, while a dancehall staple in the early 2000s, has faced backlash for its perceived promotion of violence against LGBTQ+ individuals. The term Chichi Man is a derogatory Jamaican slang used to describe gay or effeminate men. Equality for All Foundation, formerly J-Flag, called for Vaz to issue a public apology for his comments. It also called for the Office of the Political Ombudsman and the leaders of both political parties to issue a clear statement that the use of homophobic or any other discriminatory language targeting a person or community is no longer an acceptable feature of Jamaican politics. Human rights group Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, also joined in condemning Vaz for his comments. The United States has downgraded its travel advisory for Jamaica from level 3 to level 2, urging Americans to exercise increased caution rather than reconsider travel. It was an anticipated relief for the government and tourism interests 2 months after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said there would be a review in light of declining murders. The decision was announced on Thursday by the U.S. State Department. It said the change followed a periodic review. The government has welcomed the review, saying the upgrade is an acknowledgement of the strides made by Jamaica to improve public safety and security for Jamaicans and visitors. Amid concerns surrounding public safety in relation to the deportation of persons to Jamaica with criminal backgrounds, the Cabinet has approved a coordinated deportation response action plan and established a multi-agency working group, the Ministry of National Security has disclosed. The technical working group established by the Office of the Cabinet comprises representatives from key ministries including law enforcement, social support agencies, and civil society, and is tasked with delivering a streamlined response plan. This includes reception protocols, reintegration support, security vetting where appropriate, and community liaison services. The disclosure came amid the arrival of a flight of 107 deported Jamaicans on Thursday. Approximately 2,500 nationals have been confirmed for removal from the United States, with these removals expected to be executed over the next 2 years. In 2023, a total of 655 Jamaican nationals were returned from the U.S., and in 2024, the figure increased to 814. Between January and April this year, 331 nationals were returned. The decomposing body of 8-year-old Navardo Blackburn, who was reported missing last weekend, was found Tuesday in his community of Gregory Park in Portmore, St. Catherine. The body was discovered in an abandoned car along Melvin Avenue. Blackburn, who was autistic, lived on Queens Avenue in the community. The body was identified by his mother and relatives, who went to the area with the police as they searched for the boy. The police had reported that Navardo was last seen at a playing field in his community last Saturday afternoon. He was later reported missing. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification, and subscribe today. I'm Neville Graham.